Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Chorus Cornix, and welcome to Classic Movie Rambles, where I talk about old movies that I found in my closet while cleaning. This week's movie is the Bee Movie, and it's about 1 hour and 30 minutes long. And it starts with an intro narration, and then cutting to the main character, the bee, a bee named Barry. He lives in a hive, and it's a special day for him because he's about to graduate with his friend. And he's not too happy about it, though, because he realized that he will pretty much do the same thing for the rest of his life, the same boring job routine. And he gets fun of one of the jocks, which are these buff bees that goes out to collect nectar and pollen and stuff. So there's like a dare thing where the next day they're about to get their jobs, but Barry goes out with the jocks because it was like a dare thing. And he goes out over, what do you call it? Like it's like Central Park in New York. And he ends up doing real good in the beginning, but then things go really bad. He ends up in a tennis court where he's smashed around by one of the other two characters called Ken and Vanessa. They're two humans playing tennis. And he ends up in a car in all the commotion, and he gets out of the car and it starts to rain. And there's this thing about when a bee gets hit by rain, it can't fly. And eventually he ends up in the house where Vanessa and Ken lives. And Vanessa is the nice character, so she takes him out of the house with like a glass and a piece of paper. And Ken is not doing so. He's not too nice with the bees. I think he's allergic as well. So Barry wants to thank Vanessa for her kindness, and he talks to her, and that's against the law. But apparently bees can talk human language as well. So they end up talking over a cup of coffee, and he explains the whole thing about being a bee, I guess. And he returns to the hive, and he doesn't work there. He doesn't want to do work. And later he daydreams about Vanessa again, and he goes out to see her again, and they do a bunch of stuff, and they end up in a human-like store, like a normal convenience store, where he sees that humans kind of abuse the bees to get honey for all their purposes, cans and rows of honey. So that ends up with a crazy thing. He interacts with like a sales clerk, and he ends up eventually on a wind wiper for like a truck, and he's pursuing this thing called like the honey farm, which is this huge producer of honey. And he sees all the hives, and he sees the injustice, and he returns back to Vanessa to get some justice and legal help. And his parent doesn't believe him that this is happening, and he ends up getting famous and being on the news, and there's like a trial with the food giants in court. So Vanessa's boyfriend Ken is very jealous of Barry because Vanessa spends more time with this bee than with him, and he freaks out and he tries to kill Barry, and Vanessa caught him in the act and basically breaks up with him. And sometime later the trial continues, and there's a lot of drama, but the bees win the case, so they don't have to do anything. They don't have to work at all. So they stop producing the honey and everything, and that leads to a catastrophic worldwide event where bees pollinate basically flowers and other vegetation, I guess. So now there is no growing flowers. So they have to devise a plan to go to this flower carnival and get pollen to distribute all over the world. And while doing so, they need to put it on a plane, and the plane is supposed to fly to Central Park because reasons, I guess. And there's some commotion, and the pilot gets knocked out, and the bees that are left lands the plane. They kind of lift it up and fly as a bee, if that makes sense, and then they land and things return to normal. And Vanessa and Barry works together at a flower shop, and he also gives legal advice to cows that are abused or something, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. So what do I think about this movie? It's okay. I don't like Barry that much. I don't like Seinfeld. But I like the side characters that are in this movie. John Goodman, he plays the fat lawyer, and he is all over the place, very comedic. And Ken, the husband or date of Vanessa, is like really funny as well, over dramatic. He just likes to brag about his tennis and his yogurt nights, and all over a fun character. But I don't really understand. There's this love kind of triangle thing going on with the Barry the bee and Vanessa the human. And I don't know what he sees in Vanessa, because she is like such a plain character. She doesn't do anything interesting. She just helps Barry along the ride, and that's not, that's what she does. not much development there. I don't think I can recommend this movie, but then again, it was really cheap. I picked it up for about $2 in the discarded bin nobody wanted, and it's a Blu-ray. A Blu-ray for $2. I was like, I haven't seen this movie. Maybe it's funny. I chuckle a bit at some of the bad jokes, but overall it's like, meh. It's a B movie. That was the worst joke I ever made, I think, on this ramble thing. But anyway, thanks for listening and or watching, and take care.